Romance by Fontaines D.C. And I'm going to ask Karl to kick us off here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm representing today, so that's one for the YouTubers. But yeah, I think Fontaines, yeah,
keeping gas in the tank for Fontaines with that hoodie.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they're a band that probably don't really need an introduction at this point. In the seven or so years now, they've gone from unknown new band to one of the most celebrated alternative bands in the world, it feels like, and for good reason. Doggerel, instant classic debut, Hero's Death, a solid follow-up, Skinty Fear, big step up in their sound, and now we arrive at Romance, fourth album, one of the most anticipated albums of the year, certainly over this side of the pond. And yeah, I mean, for me, they've knocked it out of the park again. It feels like an even bigger evolution this time than Skinty Fear was. They're almost not post-punk anymore. They're a proper rock band now. You've got grunge on here. You've got moments of shoegaze. You've got like more straight up indie moments. And, I was worried when I saw that Dan Carey wasn't producing this one. As you guys know, I'm like a huge fan of his work. And but they obviously brought in James Ford for this one, who, got the best out of the Arctic Monkeys when he produced their albums. And yeah, I think if you're not going to get Dan Carey, then James Ford's definitely the man to go get, because he's done an incredible job on this record. I think that's the most notable thing about it, is how it sounds, especially listening on headphones. It just sounds amazing. And yeah, like their other work, it's just littered with highlights. Starburster and Favourite, two of the singles, think they've cemented themselves for me as two of the songs of the year at this point. Starburster, with that almost hip-hop style beat, some incredible wordplay by Grian as ever, that I'm going to hit your business if it's momentary blissness. It's just genius. And the gasp, it's it's just so good. And the whole, what's the line? I'm the pig on the Chinese calendar, like that whole verse. It feels almost iconic at this point. So yeah, definitely one of the songs of the year. Favourite as well. That riff, I could just listen to it all day. Just incredibly infectious track. And yeah, those are like the obvious two. But In the Modern World, one of the last singles that they released, again, just another incredible, almost feels like an instant classic, timeless, really poignant, just filled with this lush orchestration. Actually reminded me a lot of one of the other bands that we're going to talk about shortly, in the arrangement and feel of it. Massive fan of that track. Romance. I appreciate I'm going all over the place with this listing of the tracks. Romance, just this really seismic, dramatic opener. It obviously soundtracks that like amazing trailer that they released with the shining, green goo coming down the lift or elevator for you, Kiley, that they released for the album originally. And I think when you see it in its full form here to kick off the record, it's just fantastic. Here's the Thing, just a great supercharged rock song. Again, more of that like heavy breathing, and then it's got like that brilliant fuzzy like guitar riff going on. And then my favorite of the non-singles has to be Sundowner, which I was trying to think of a way to describe it, and I came up with, if you imagine My Bloody Valentine playing Porcelain by Moby, that's pretty much what we get with Sundowner. It's just, real shoegazy, but also it's got that gentle beat that runs through it, and it's just absolute bliss. So
blissness,
momentary blissness. Those are Yeah, just not a single dull moment on this one. Just predictably excellent at this point. And yeah, all of obviously we had it with Grian's solo album last year as well, but I'm fairly certain that Fontaines will be up there in my year-end list again. And I still can't quite believe that Anthony Fantano gave this a 5 out of 10, which put it on par with, for him, the recent Eminem records.
Wow.
But there you go. Shows that they are still underrated in some circles. So, yeah.
I'm still steaming from watching him give MJ Linderman a light 3, which...
What, the new one?
Like, yes. Red flannel.
Fantano has fallen off.
My word.
Direct your attention to our YouTube channel, people.
Yeah, that's it. We know what we're talking about.
We'll take a percentage of his viewership if you agree with us. I've not been keeping up with him, but well, who knows what's going on? The sun has messed with his head.
Yeah, I think he said Sundowner was like the worst track on the album as well. I'm like, come on, Anthony, come on, clean your ears out.
So are you agreeing with Karl's kind of overall feelings on the record here, Kiley?
Yeah, I think the word that he said there is bliss, and I would agree. To keep the background short, with my experience with Fontaines, because we've talked about it. We talked about the Grian's album last year that loved the debut. Doggerel did nothing for me, and then I thought Skinty Fia was fine before Grian's solo album last year, which was my favorite Fontaines related thing that we've had so far. But I think Romance tops that, and with all the grunge, with this funny aughts makeover that they've had, I enjoy it. But I do what I'm really appreciating about this record is that there's a lot of hip hop backbone to it, which I wouldn't expect from them, and it just really demonstrates their growth, and then also I'm extremely happy with them working with James Ford. Just so many times bands try to go big and it's stale and it doesn't work, and I just think Romance, they're firing on all gears here. Starburster or Star Blaster, excuse me. Starburster, yeah. When that first dropped, I was really excited for this record, and that inhale in the chorus there, I just think, like, in terms of trying to sum up the zeitgeist the last decade, that emotion right there, that remind yourself to breathe is the constant mantra, and just really connect with that. But when it came out, I hadn't realized that In the Modern World was the single they'd released that day. And for me, like, right off the bat, that was the highlight. I had read that Grian had kind of looked to Lana Del Rey on that record, and he wrote it while in Hollywood, that, you've got the glitz and glamour, but, for any of us that have lived in LA, I love Hollywood dearly, but, there is that gross, gritty undertone to it. And I think that track just really captures that. And then, to keep it brief, the other one for me is Death Kink. Just because I've kind of always had a fascination with songs that are written on the road and, not necessarily worked out in sessions or in the studio, and what comes of that. And just love that song as well. But yeah, for me, this is their best record. And so many of these post-punk bands, I think we earlier this year we talked about Yard Act. They successfully have kind of moved beyond the post-punk thing. But take note, you don't have to, unless you don't have anything beyond that, in which, call it a day because you've said what you needed to over the course of 2 or 3 records. But Fontaines just really on a hot streak, and I'm very happy with this record.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to be going against what you guys are saying. Similar kind of thing in terms of Doggerel was the one, and almost album of the year, if not the album of the year, looking back at 2019 or 2018 that came out for me. Felt they went downhill. Second record, back up with Skinty Fear, and then last year we reviewed Chaos for the Fly, Grian's solo record, which was really showed other layers to him and just shows what a fantastic songwriter he is, and I suppose a bit of a musical chameleon. And I suppose that kind of approach has been taken on here. You've already mentioned the elements of hip hop, some grunginess here, and sort of flitting between a few different genres. So they've obviously done the different style thing here, and I think this is them saying we're going to go big now. They also are playing Finsbury Park next year, so this is them saying, this is our moment, I suppose, and that's ballsy. I think they pull it off. It's a slight record. It doesn't go on beyond a runtime which you would want it to. All the songs which you've highlighted here, I also am a big fan of. Bug maybe is one of the only ones which you guys haven't referred to, which is one of my favorite. Well, another great song. Probably not my favorites because there's so many other ones which are above that, and all the singles are up there. But yeah, I love the urgent, intimate guitar of that, and it's a nice folky story of these kind of intertwining relationships. I would say it at this point it's not a classic for me. I'd say it's nearly a classic, and it's a very, very strong album. Like you mentioned, Karl, for me, this is going to be right up there when it comes to the end of the year. And I don't know whether I'm more stingy about what I've determined as a classic anymore. Because it seems to be when I was younger, there were classics here, there, everywhere. But yeah, I think they've shot for the stars, and to all intents and purposes, they've done what they have to. I think the show next year is probably going to be awesome. They got Amel and the Sniffers there as well.
And Kneecap.
Sorry?
And Kneecap as well.
And Kneecap, yeah. So
what a lineup.
Yeah, that could be a quiet afternoon. But yeah, I don't know. There's a bit of swagger, I think, with this. They're accomplished musicians. They've gone for this look. There's some cheekiness, some humour to it as well. And this is an album I think in years to come will still be one of those which would happily sort of return to. And I think some of those songs, Favourite had that instant classic vibe about it. I probably didn't love that as much as say Starburster or whatever, but you can't deny its kind of appeal. Yeah. And kind of like a song as if you've heard it already years ago, which I think is quite a unique thing to pull off. So yeah, just hats off. It was always interesting to see, after such a diversion with the solo record, just how it would be once he's back in with the band. But if anything, he's just come back brimming with more ideas, and yeah, they're forget going to see Oasis at Wembley for however many hundreds of pounds. Go and see Fontaines at Finsbury Park next year, and yeah, support the stars who are here right now. So on that, 3 thumbs up. And
how good was Liam's reply on that though? That was
yeah,
just roadies. So good.
Yeah.
They should feel happy, I suppose. If you're annoying him, then I don't think he's notoriously thin-skinned, to be fair. But I did find it interesting because that article you shared, Karl, about on Enemy with the 2 guitarists basically saying like, we shouldn't be going back with nostalgic, so much on Oasis and bands of the past. Support the bands of the future. Then Grian at the bottom was like, I would just like to say I love Oasis. So it was even that kind of disparity in the band, and yeah, like, but I think the damage has been done in terms of Liam's mind. I can't see them supporting Oasis anytime soon. So, but I'm sure they'll get over it.